For centuries, we've been telling ourselves a story. A story about some special spark, right? Some kind of magical ingredient that separates the living from the dead. But what if that whole story is just wrong? What if the very definition of life isn't a biological mystery, but a crime against physics? Let's open the case file.
That's the charge. That's the central claim of a new investigation into reality itself. The idea that our entire understanding of what it means to be alive is just a fundamental mistake. It's like a crucial piece of evidence got misfiled, and it sent us searching in all the wrong places for answers.
All right, so our first line of inquiry has to look into what's being called the biology illusion. It's this deep-seated idea we have that life is somehow special, That it's playing by a completely different set of rules than the rest of the universe.
Well, a groundbreaking paper from 2023 published in Nature, it offers a brand new lead. See, doctors Cronin and Walker are proposing this radical new paradigm called assembly theory. They argue that life isn't some special biological substance. It's a physical state of the universe, just like being a solid, a liquid, or a gas. The big categorization error, they say, was putting life in a totally separate cabinet from physics in the first place.
And okay, this is where the investigation gets really wild. The theory suggests that just like E = mc² proved that energy and mass are basically two sides of the same coin, assembly theory is proposing that time and matter are linked, that molecules can actually hold memory. The universe doesn't just contain objects, it contains physicalized, recorded time. So if matter can hold a memory, how do we read it? How do you distinguish a completely random jumble of atoms from a message that's been written across millennia? We need a tool. A whole new kind of forensic analysis. And that tool is called the Molecular Assembly Index, or MA for short. It's a way to put a hard number on an object's complexity. It's a way to measure how much history, how much memory, is stored inside a molecule by calculating the absolute fewest number of steps it would take to build it, its shortest possible recipe.
Think about it like a Lego castle. A simple pile of Lego bricks, that's just random matter. But a whole Lego castle? That needs an instruction manual. The MMA is basically the length of that manual. A simple block might need one step. A complex castle needs thousands.
And look, this isn't just a thought experiment. The researchers really did the work. They analyzed millions of molecules, from meteorites, from deep-sea vents, even from our own blood, using these incredibly precise tools to basically deconstruct them and calculate their assembly number. They were building a universal database of complexity.
And this brings us to the climax of the investigation. After they analyzed all that data, from dead rock to living cells, a pattern started to emerge. A really clear, unmistakable line in the cosmic sand.
I mean, this is the question, isn't it? The one that's haunted us forever. Where is that border between just a collection of atoms and a thinking, breathing being? Well, assembly theory suggests the answer isn't some fuzzy concept. It's a number.
15. That's the number. Across every single sample, from every corner of the cosmos they could get their hands on. This was the boundary, the golden threshold. The implication here is, well, it's staggering. Anything with an assembly index below 15 can form by pure dumb luck. Just atoms bumping into each other in the void. But anything above 15, it cannot happen by chance. It absolutely requires a system that stores information. It requires memory. It requires evolution to guide how it's built.
How impossible is it? The odds of a molecule that complex just forming randomly are 1 in 100 sextillion. That's a 1 with 23 zeros after it. The probability is so low, it's basically zero. This isn't just a hunch. This is a statistical smoking gun.
And that leads to this incredibly powerful conclusion. We now have a universal, chemistry-agnostic test for life. If we find a molecule on Mars with an MA of, say, 17, that is definitive proof of life or technology. No arguments, no exceptions. The case is closed.
But, like any good investigation, solving one mystery only opens up another, much stranger one. This new tool forces us to re-examine one of the biggest cold cases of all time, the search for extraterrestrial life.
So the theory's really radical implication is that evolution isn't exclusive to biology. It's a fundamental property of the universe itself, of matter operating over time. When a complex structure forms and survives, the universe kind of remembers the pathway to build it. Life, then, is just matter that has gotten very, very good at remembering.
And this shows us exactly how we've been getting it all wrong. We've been looking for biological clues, water, oxygen, those perfect Goldilocks zones. We've been looking for life that looks like us. Assembly theory tells us to ignore all that. Forget biology. Look for complexity. Look for the mathematical signature of memory, a high assembly index.
This just reframes the entire search. Aliens aren't necessarily creatures. They are high-density artifacts of time. They could be made of silicon or plasma or even exist as pure information. But whatever their form, they cannot escape this fundamental law of physics. If they are complex, they will have a high MA. We should be looking for their math, not their biology.
And this brings us to the final and maybe the most unsettling piece of the puzzle. After searching the cosmos, the investigation turns inward. The final piece of evidence is you.
So what does it mean to be alive in this new reality? It means you are an object so complex with such a ridiculously high assembly index that it took the universe 4 billion years of trial and error, of remembering and evolving, just to learn the instructions to build you.
This quote from the source material just says it all. You aren't just a temporary collection of atoms. You are a lineage of information that has survived every filter the universe could possibly throw at it. You are 4 billion years of memory compressed into a single physical form. This theory completely reframes our entire existence. We are no longer just temporary creatures living on a lonely planet. We are the universe's memory, made tangible. We are each a message, written in matter. 4 billion years in the making. The only question left is, what does that message say?